every major conflict ever studied eventually traces back to what? Power. And in the modern world, power comes from energy and oil. So this isn't new. We've seen this before. We've seen it with Gaddafi in Libya, how they control all outside of Western systems, and they wanted to unite Africa under a currency, gold. You know America didn't like that. Second, we saw it with Saddam Hussein, Iraq, threatening oil price and power. And now we see it with Venezuela. They sit as the largest oil reserve on earth. Now, when a country controls energy outside of the U.S. influence, it becomes a geopolitical problem. Not because of ideology, but because of leverage. And that's what this is all about, y'all. Now, let's think about this. Here's the numbers. Venezuela represents 300 billion barrels of proven oil reserves at about $17 trillion. United States, 68 billion barrels. Venezuela is the #1 global oil reserve in the game, ahead of Saudi Arabia, ahead of Canada, and ahead of Iran. Venezuela isn't poor because of lack of resources. It's poor because, well, energy hasn't been monetized right. You had some government officials in play that wasn't really working the way they should be, and that's why it matters. And so we've heard Trump numerous times say they stole our oil. So he didn't hide his motive in this one. So we're going to have U.S. companies making money from this country's oil again. This is Trump words, not mine. And we'll run things until it's stable. This is Trump words, not mine. That's not a code language. That's a strategy statement. That's somebody saying exactly what they're going to do, why they doing it. Now, this isn't about a regime change for values. It's about reasserting energy influence. Now, we got to remember this, y'all. America is going to always be at odds with China. And China has been slowly positioning itself to be a more friendlier state, right? Now, here's the part that a lot of people gonna miss. For years, China has extended billions of dollars in loans to Venezuela. Those loans were repaid in oil shipments. So Venezuela became a long-term energy hedge for China. Now, China always wants energy diversification. That helps with AI manufacturing. That helps with data centers. That helps with cheaper power. Venezuela was a future supply pillar for China. Now, any disruption forces China not to really scramble, but, it just kind of messes up what they have going on. So now they may have to go back to the Middle East, Africa, Russia, often at somewhat higher prices. Now, here's what I want you to understand.